If you're anything like me, the name Bayonetta doesn't really mean much. I mean, isn't that the lady from Smash Bros? I never really understood what was so special about the character that warranted such a coveted spot amongst gaming's icons such as Sans and the Piranha Plant. To me, she was just another random IP that they threw in there to make the roster larger. What was especially odd to me was how much more adult of a character she seemed to be compared to everyone else. So when I was randomly browsing Steam and saw the game on sale, I thought to myself, couldn't hurt, and bought the game. And boy was I wrong about Bayonetta. I was about to begin a journey of good and evil, heaven and hell, and an odd amount of sexual tension as Bayonetta changes from a heartless witch into a loving mother figure. All of this wrapped in a scantily clad dress package from Sega.
You are gay!
So join me as we explore the insane mind of Hideaki Kamiya and the absolute trip that is Bayonetta. Now before we get into the nitty gritty of the story, I think it's best we start with what the game actually feels like. Bayonetta is a hack and slash where you go around beating up angels of varying ugliness throughout different European environments. The gameplay consists of performing various combos of light and heavy attacks in order to quickly destroy enemies. As you progress, you gain access to more weapons such as the Shuraba, which is a literal living sword, or the Kolsherda, which is a snake whip. Some weapons, such as the Onyx Rose, can even be equipped to Bayonetta's feet, which opens up even more possibilities to player choice and ways for you to beat the hell, or I guess heaven, out of your enemies. Furthermore, some enemies drop special weapons that you can use for loads of damage. Sadly though, they only last for a few hits, so you can only really get one combo before they break. That's why it's best to save them for when you truly need it. On top of weapons, you can also buy skills which expand your witch abilities greatly. From sliding while shooting your guns, or turning into a group of bats after parrying, or just becoming an absolute menace and shooting everyone on your head. The game doesn't stop giving you tools you need to go absolutely crazy while slaughtering all of Heaven's soldiers. But all this power isn't just free. No, if you want to become the ultimate baddie, you're gonna have to put in the work. In order to just unlock weapons, you have to find pieces of golden LPs, which you can trade in at the shop to make weapons available for an ungodly price. Now in order to buy items, you need halos, which you get from defeating enemies, which you spend at the literal gates of hell. However, killing enemies isn't just enough. It would take forever to get enough halos just by farming. Having a higher multiplier gives you more halos upon defeating enemies, encouraging you to play precisely and also making replaying levels much more engaging. See, in Bayonetta, levels are divided into much smaller encounters, and after each, you're rated on how well you did and given a medal accordingly. See, these medals alone give you only a small amount of halos. By the end of each level, you're given a trophy based on your performance. So in order to get the highest rating, you're gonna have to lock in and mow down Heaven's protection in style. In combination with your offensive abilities, Bayonetta doesn't have many defensive options. She only has 2 parry unlockables. See, Bayonetta isn't a game about trading damage, it's all about evading. You can dodge attacks, and if you time it properly, you get to go into Witch Time, a state where time slows and you can freely wail on your enemies. Mastering dodging is required as some enemies are too quick to fight normally, forcing you to learn how to dodge in order to punish them. With climaxes, in which you spam a button really quickly in order to absolutely disrespect enemies in various ways that I'm pretty sure violate the Geneva Convention. See, that's one thing I appreciate about this game. Nowadays it feels like so many games are scared to put their foot down in terms of difficulty or mechanics, but Bayonetta tells you the rules and makes you play by them. See, as a Souls fan, I'm used to playing hard games, and even on normal I was dying a lot. Now is that a skill issue? Probably. Is it also janky hitboxes and enemy AI? Also possible, I won't say. But the gameplay was a refreshing bucket of ice for me. Now all hope isn't lost if you get damaged or stuck on a boss, because the game rewards you for hacking and slashing. You can destroy a ton of the environment, which gives both halos and crafting materials, allowing you to make various lollipops.
Lollipops?
See, lollipops serve as consumables within Bayonetta, because she's completely obsessed with them. There are 3 types of lollipops: healing, damage increasing, and god mode lollipops. Along with crafting, you can also purchase these items at the gates of hell. And at the end of every level, you play a minigame where you shoot enemies to earn points, which can be exchanged for items or halos. Because of course you can. Now personally, I just never had enough lollipops, and towards the end of my playthrough, I would just die in order to save my resources. But that's for later on in the video. On top of all this, Bayonetta has access to various witch powers such as wall climbing or turning into a literal panther, all of which help you traverse the world and find all the various collectibles, such as lore tidbits, you know, the usual stuff. See, Bayonetta didn't pioneer anything or make a huge impact on the gaming world, but what it does is pick what it wants to do and have every mechanic aid in telling the story it wants to tell. Speaking of which, it's time to discuss the world of Bayonetta starts in the past. There are 3 realms of the game's world: Paradiso, which is heaven, Chaos, the human realm, and Inferno, which you could probably guess what that is. There are 2 factions at war in the story: the Umbra Witches, who are the followers of the dark, and the Lumen Sages, who are followers of the light. Don't think one side's better though, they're both kinda evil. Bayonetta is one of the last Umbra Witches, after a war with the Lumen Sages which nearly destroyed both parties. The Lumen Sages were searching for an artifact called the Left Eye, a magical artifact that the angels are willing to send thousands of soldiers in order to find. An artifact which Bayonetta just conveniently has on her. The only problem though is she has no idea what it is or what it does. You see, during the battle of the Umbra Witches and Lumen Sages, Bayonetta kinda lost her memory and was locked in a casket for a few hundred years. Only recently awakening, she's now on the search for the right eye, which she hopes will help restore her memories. And with that, the stage is set for the story. We start the game on a funeral. The rain is heavy and the area is depressing. We see 2 figures, a mob boss named Enzo, who ultimately plays a minimal role in the story, but we also see another figure, dressed in all white, praying for the deceased. Suddenly, however, angels appear out of the sky, and I mean, look at these guys. Yeah, I'd be terrified too, are you kidding? But our figure in white reveals that she is in fact Bayonetta, along with her ally Rodin, an absolute Chad with infinite guns and swag. You see, he's from Inferno and runs the Gates of Hell bar. This is where we're shown how truly goofy this game is, and I mean goofy. You know, maybe play this one with the door closed, or if this is on your second monitor, turn down the brightness. Don't worry, I gotcha. And if these cutscenes look oddly familiar, this game was developed by Platinum Games. You know, that Platinum Games? Like the guys who made Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance and Nier Automata? This game is very similar to Revengeance in the sense that it's nothing crazy, but what it excels at is executing its vision, and the cutscenes are very similar across the games. Moving along, Bayonetta is following a lead on the location of the other eye. She is suddenly interrupted by a mysterious figure who we saw during the prologue, an almost identical figure to Bayonetta, wielding similar weapons and knowing many of the same techniques. However, before we can get any information on who she is, she's gone. Anyways, now that we're finally given a moment's rest, Bayonetta is able to track down the other eye's location as being somewhere in place Europe. And this time her travel is actually pretty effortless, only hearing a mysterious voice guiding her and calling her my child. We have no clue on who this is though, so for now we'll just have to move on. After clearing out more hideous angels, we encounter the mysterious woman again, who attempts to steal our piece of the eye. Again, being as vague as possible, which doesn't help Bayonetta get an idea on who this is. However, we do get access to a memory, in which we're shown us defeating this lady in combat in some mysterious location. And much like before, she's gone before we get any real answers.
You getting a theme here?
In the next chapter, we're introduced to very important characters. Firstly is Luca, a charming, quick-witted journalist who's on the hunt for Bayonetta. You see, 20 years ago when Bayonetta woke up from her casket in the ground, Luca's father was actually the one to discover the tomb where she was. And this kinda happened. So Luca hunts Bayonetta as revenge for his father. You see, he can hear Bayonetta, but can't see her as she traverses the various realms, making his job a lot harder. The second character is a little girl named Cereza, a little girl who is all by herself looking for her father. Bayonetta agrees to return Cereza to her father, and just like that, she becomes our companion for the rest of the game, calling Bayonetta mommy. Hey, that's my thing.
Also, is it just me or does Cereza look a lot like Bayonetta? What's up with that?
For now though, the game sticks to the bread and butter of killing angels and looking hot while doing it. During this time, Luca reveals his motives to Bayonetta, and despite this, she still saves him from danger. Wow, she does have a heart. As a quick aside, I just want to talk about how good the music is in this game. I can't stress enough how much of a banger soundtrack this game has. The combat music is just effortlessly catchy, and there's this absolute majestical cover of Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon, which they make sure you hear a few times throughout the game. Well, that's all. I just really wanted to say that quickly. As our journey continues, we're once again confronted with a mysterious figure, and I just gotta shout out to whatever coke the cutscene department was on, because look at this choreography. It's absolutely crazy. But once again, we get no real information from her, so it's back to the human realm. After this, we get an admittedly really cute moment with Cereza, which is immediately ruined because of the next sections of the game where she becomes an absolute liability. Like, I get she's a child and all, but holy hell is defending her annoying, ruining all goodwill I had with her.
However, we get to see one of the craziest cutscenes of all time. Check it out.
Listen, at this point, I've got no clue what the developers are trying to do, but just before I'm out, they pull me back in. Because the next set of missions are some of the most epic in the game. After this mission, it's just banger after banger, with the action and set pieces being turned up to 1,000. We destroy the Tempertina, who's this huge angel. It's actually kind of terrifying, like I'm pretty sure this is a war crime. We get access to the sick ass bike and do some sick tricks. Luca finally realizes that we're trying to help him when he finally sees Bayonetta clearly for the first time, both literally and figuratively, as we help protect Cereza. We send this freaky guy to hell, Luca gets lost in the sauce, and we make our way to the Isla del Sol, which the mysterious woman has guided us to. Finally identifying her as Jean. After our fight with her, which, oh my god, was so hard on my first playthrough, I spent, no joke, like 45 minutes on this fight. This is when the story is revealed to us fully, and boy is it a lot. To summarize to the best of my ability, Jean is actually an ally who helped protect Bayonetta in the past. The necklace she has is not the eye, and it's just a protective seal placed on Bayonetta. However, she was brainwashed into helping this old guy named Baldur. It's revealed that Bayonetta is the left eye, while this old man is her father and also the right eye. His plan is to combine with Bayonetta in order to revive God and take over everything. In a villainous-ass monologue, he reveals that he killed Luca's father, and then promptly kills Luca too. Also revealing that Cereza is Bayonetta as a child.
Hey, I said that.
Absorbing Cereza as we prepare for our final confrontation. After an intense battle where we go straight up Neo mode with our bullets, we manage to slay Baldur and return Cereza to her time. The end. But of course not, because somehow Baldur survived that and captures Bayonetta and transforms into this colossal being. But with the help of Jean and her sick ass bike, Bayonetta is able to break free in an epic battle against the clock and finally kill Baldur once and for all. Cue credits. But of course not, because we're thrown back into the action as we destroy this being before it hits the earth. Where we end where we began, with Bayonetta doing what she does best, as we hear that amazing cover of Fly Me to the Moon one last time. Cue credits for real this time. One thing I didn't get to touch on earlier was the absolute great enemy design in this game. Each enemy and boss is different from the last. Even the common enemies have enough variety to keep you engaged as you replay levels. And even though bosses do just keep increasing in size, the game finds new mechanics and set pieces that make each fight different and fun, and they're not afraid to throw in some actual difficulty at you. Same with the art direction. The stylized European towns and architecture are all really nice to engage with, and the artwork you unlock at the end of the game just goes to show again how much the developers care for each aspect of the game world. Bayonetta is one of the most refreshing games I've played in recent memory. The passion the developers had is felt in every detail of the game, from the music to the level design and addicting combo-based beat-em-up gameplay. The game has enough style to draw you in, but also has enough substance to entice you to come back for more.
And I'll definitely be checking out the sequels. Thanks for stopping by the pond. It's Yokoi here, and I'm out.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Low B out here with the Cadillac, so we'll come get him. He about to fly high. He about to fly. He about to fly.